Welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Dave, where today we're going to be answering a question, which is, where's my car, Dave? Kathy.
Where is my car, Dave?
She's been asking me, we ordered a Porsche Macan EV back in, it was early May of this year, and it was actually manufactured on July 8th, and we thought everything was going great.
It's not here yet.
Yeah, it's not here yet. And the question is why? Now, I kept saying, Kathy, do you want me to sit you down and explain why? And she goes, no.
I don't have time.
She doesn't have time.
Today I have time.
Today she wants to know. So I figure while
minds want to know.
While I explain it to her, I figure I'll also explain it to you, because we're not the only ones that are suffering delays here. Porsche, I don't know what's going on. And I'm not saying it's easy to launch a new model, right? Especially a new electric vehicle. But this is your second EV, and as much as we love it, and as much as I enjoyed going over to Stuttgart and driving it, and then we drove it at the Electrify Expo event, you know what the problem is? We want it. So where is it? I know patience, the old saying, what is it? Patience
is a virtue.
Is a virtue.
And I am a very patient person.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I guess I just feel like it's been long enough.
It's been getting long. So let's go over this, and let me teach her a few things about what's going on with the logistics of the Porsche Macan EV. All right, so Kathy, for those that don't know the spec on your car, let's just go over the quick spec. Sure. What I've done is I've put up here on the screen the actual build of the car. Now, this is a 2024 model. If you go online and you order a 2025, it'll be inflated by about, $600-700 or something like that. So we've got an ice gray metallic, which is a beautiful color, leather package in black and chalk, the model designation on the rear and the electric logo on the side in silver. So we just wanted it to be stock there. And the back, how it says Porsche. Some people like that blacked out. We like it to be a little bit bolder, a little bit brighter. There is a trailer hitch. We're going to be doing some testing once we finally take delivery of this car. I know Kyle wants to do some testing of it from a towing standpoint. Porsche crests on headrests, right? That was something.
That was my request.
That was something that you wanted. Roof rails in black aluminum, beautiful. You got to get them, in my opinion, especially on a light car, but do what you want. The massage seats.
Had to have.
All right. Rear wiper. A lot of people said you couldn't get a rear wiper. You can. Mm-hmm. Seems crazy. You got to spend $370 for it. Porsche InnoDrive, which is basically that's like your driver assistance, lane centering and all of that. And then the only way to get the massaging seats is if you get the comfort seats, which are the 14-way seats. If you get the sport 18-way seats, you can't get massaging. So that's that. And then this car also comes with 1 year of 30-minute DC fast charging with Electrify America. Mm-hmm. So $86,030 vehicle price, delivery, handling, processing, blah, 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 $1,650. And then your retail price is $87,680. This is a Macan 4, not the base Macan rear-wheel drive, and not the 4S or the turbo. And this is a lightly spec'd Macan 4. So that's interesting.
Well, that was my choice.
Yeah. I think if we were to do it over again, I would probably go for the...
You would want the heads
up. The augmented reality is insane after driving it. I think rear steer probably wouldn't do it. But the heads-up display, man, that is really sweet. So, okay, so you can see that we ordered the car back in May, and the vehicle was completed on July 8th, and
August, September, October. Now it's November.
Well, wait, you're jumping the gun there. Let's just see what happened. So it was you go from May to July. That's not bad from a lead time. This car's been. It was announced by Volkswagen Group back in 2000, and here it is 4 years later, and it's been a lot of delays. Like, you wanted to order it 2 years ago, right? And we were seeing the spy shots and all that, and we had to wait. But the car actually exited the port on the 17th of July. So 7 days after, a week after it was built, it left the port, and it
So I
got.
don't think
That's not
Porsche's
bad.
problem. That's a fast build.
Yeah, I mean that's a fast build. A lot of people have had their orders in for a lot longer than us, and then it entered Freeport which is a brand new port in Texas. Now we're going to talk about that in a little bit. This is down in Texas near Houston, but it's a brand new port that just opened in October. I think October 2nd of this year. And then you remember there was this strike by all the dock workers, but that was only affecting a lot of the East Coast, I guess, ports. And so that was nothing to do with it. But this is a pretty amazing investment, $114 million investment. They're using Volkswagens. It's a deep port, so they're able to put the LNG carriers, all of the light natural gas powered tankers that are going, carrying the carrier ships all the way from Germany over to Houston. And it's going to be processing and importing up to 140,000 cars annually from Volkswagen, Audi, Bentley, Lamborghini, and also Porsche as well. So this is a huge, huge investment. And what happens is when cars get to the ports, my understanding is that's where oftentimes the Monroney labels are printed, and they'll do final sort of vehicle inspections. They have to process the cars, import them before they get shipped off, whether it's truck or train, off to the dealer. So this is a huge logistics thing. And I was thinking that this might be the reason why there was a delay there. But then as I was going on some of the Reddit and blogs, this one here that I'm showing you on the screen now is from Macan EV owners. This person here, Argelius, joined only on October 22nd, 2024, this forum. But he said he purchased his Macan 4 off the lot a week ago, where it has been ever since. He never was able to take the car off the lot due to a series of required software updates. And that sort of added up to a common theme that we were hearing, is that there's a software update that needs to take place. Now, you know what an over-the-air update is, right? We do it all the time on our iPhones and our Teslas. And my understanding is that the Macans will also be able to support OTA updates. But what has to happen first is they have to have a certain software updated or downloaded onto the car from a USB stick. And you think, well, wait a minute, that seems a bit archaic. And why wouldn't they have
somebody has to go in and physically to every single Porsche there, like Taycan too, or just Macan?
No, we're just talking about the Macans for the specific software release that has to happen. And so, granted, look, we all said, and even this gentleman here, whoever it is, woman, his name's Glenn. I realized Porsche just wants to get it right. And as a matter of fact, when I was over in Stuttgart, I was asking some of the Porsche reps about the issue as far as logistics. And they said, yeah, we really want to make sure we get this right. And I get that. And sometimes you're better off being patient is a good thing, and you want to make sure you get it right. Sure. But, we're not the only ones that are feeling this pain right here. And when you have the mothership of Volkswagen with the PPE platform, and I think Volkswagen is reliant on a lot of the software development from this joint venture called Cariad, that is a source of a lot of frustration, at least from what I hear. Porsche is a smaller division within the big mothership of Volkswagen, but they're reliant for this model on not only the platform, but also software as well. So this guy, Glenn, he's saying admittedly a first world problem. And then this other person, Diego, chimes in and says, you know what? It's their second EV. So there's no excuses, right? Okay, and this was just on Wednesday of this past week. And so, this new model launch is a failure and generates huge amount of frustration. Mine has been stuck at a dealership for 5 weeks. This guy's name is Bye-Bye. Hopefully he doesn't say bye-bye. I will tell you, folks, the wait is worth it. This car is amazing. So don't jump ship. And this guy, Argelius or whatever, says, oh my, OMG, that's just awful. So, we're not the only ones that are feeling this frustration. Here it is, November 2nd, and our car has been sitting on the lot since, let's see what date that was, August, let's see, it arrived on August 13th. Now, we're being told that the car will be released from the port on November 6th, which is the day after Election Day, right?
Oh, yeah, that's this week.
Right, but we've also been told that it was going to be released in the past.
I think we felt 2 delays.
We've been told by the dealership, and they've kept us in the loop, and that's been great. But one of the other things, just digging around, I noticed that there were 2 open campaigns for this vehicle. Now, a campaign is not necessarily a recall. I guess there's different levels of things when a dealership has to do, and a campaign is maybe less intrusive or less onerous, but you still need to do it. And they have what's called a stop sale on the vehicle due to 2 open campaigns.
You mean right now?
Right now.
Moment?
Right now.
Nobody can order a Macan EV.
No, you can order one, but
Confused.
But unless your car has the update to the software network VR28, these are the 2 campaigns that have to be done on your car. This is on your specific car,
okay.
Right? With the VIN number. And so there's campaign WRMO and WRP6. Now let's go through both these. The update to software network VR28.11. Let's actually see what that really means. Here's the technical bulletin issued by Porsche. And what this is saying is that do not perform a vehicle handover on the vehicle until this software update is completed. And when you look at the instructions, I found this on the internet. This is all public information here. So each location that's doing these pre-delivery inspections or PDIs. So let's say the car went to Baltimore's site and it got delivered to the dealership. The dealership then has to do the PDI. Mm-hmm. But if Porsche holds up the car at the port, then the people at the port have to do the PDI,
and
right?
It's out of the hands of the dealer.
And it hasn't even gotten to the dealer
right.
yet. That's the situation in our case. And so this is what they have to do. Porsche is telling them that they will order one USB memory stick with a maximum capacity of 32 gigabytes. The stick has to be formatted, all of this, and it says that every Porsche center responsible for looking after a vehicle affected by the campaign is provided with one USB memory stick for programming. And therefore, the USB memory stick must be only ordered once to remain at the supervising Porsche center as a tool. So here's my question. If there are over 1,000 Porsche Macans sitting in Freeport or in Baltimore, does the port as a PDI center only get one USB stick?
That's how I just read that.
That's how I just read that as well. And if the car gets to the dealership, then the dealership can have one USB stick. And
that sounds more manageable.
To do it
right. At the dealership rather than the port.
Right. So and then it tells them, what to do as far as how to do the actual update. And I think it might take, what I was reading earlier, maybe like 3 to 5 hours.
To do one update?
Yeah, to do the update. And then once the update is done, okay, then the car, my understanding is, then the car is now able to get over-the-air updates. Now, here's the thing. This Porsche Macan's been delayed for so long. And to get it right to that, what we call in football, the red zone, right? You're on the half-yard line. And the frustration that I would imagine the Porsche engineers are feeling with whether it's CarYad or Volkswagen or however, the reliant on the software that they can't even sell the cars. And then think about the dealers. There's high demand for the Porsche Macan. My understanding, I read somewhere there's like over 10,000 orders, and this is a global launch. This isn't just the Porsche Macan coming to the US.
Right.
This is a global launch. It's going all over the world. And so the dealers, they're all excited about this new model. They're having, remember Kyle a couple weeks ago at Fort Collins, they had him come in and speak, and all the people come in and they're hyping up the car. And meanwhile, if they get a car, unless they do this software update, they can't even sell the car. So they can't even make money. All right. That's the first thing that this particular car had an issue with.
There's more?
There's more.
I think I'm sorry I asked you today.
Okay. But wait, there's more. The second item, okay, is WRP6. This is a different campaign, replacing the electric power distributor control unit, J1282. What the heck is that?
That doesn't sound good if you have to replace something already.
What,
Does
like,
it?
well,
What
I
is
mean,
it?
no, it doesn't. It doesn't sound good at all. So what I found is there was an update from Porsche. Again, this is on the internet. Okay. WRP6 stop delivery, replacing electric power distributor control unit. Please be advised that necessary bolts required to complete WRP6 repairs have not been shipped. They will ship tomorrow. Okay, well, that's back in...
What date was that?
That was September 17th. So that's a month after the car got to port, right? Basically, I won't go through this whole thing, but there's a campaign that there's a physical device that they have to go through. So in addition, each PDI center has to not only do the software update, but in our car's particular example, they have to replace this electric power distributor control unit. And if this is what there's 2,299 cars that are affected.
And I'm one of them?
You're one of them. And it says here, due to an insufficiently configured protective diode at the electric power distributor control unit, an internal failure of the control unit will be diagnosed sporadically. As a result, the control unit stays awake and it'll drain your 12-volt battery. So you remember, for those of you who've watched the channel for a while, remember when I had the Ioniq 5?
I remember.
And I went out to drive it one morning and I got a 77 kilowatt hour battery pack. And meanwhile, the 12-volt battery died on the car. And it's been a big problem. So
now this is the same problem?
I don't know that Hyundai actually even knows what their problem is. It sounds like Porsche has identified the issue, and it says the remedy is now available as of 9/16/24. So the issue is that when I talk to people at Porsche, whether it's the dealer or at corporate, they're telling me they have all this identified. They know what has to happen. They're just working through. It's like a giant rat through a snake right now. They got to actually get all these things done. They got to, in your car, there are only these two things that are happening. With other cars, I just want to show you, Kathy, there are other things that could be stopping, at least my understanding. Again, this document I found on the internet.
Yeah.
Yours is being affected because of the software network update for the OTA with the single USB stick, and WRP6 stop delivery replacing electric power distributor. Those are the only two things that your car has. But it seems like there are some additional things that potentially could be affecting other vehicles, not ours.
Oh, I don't care about those.
No, I know you don't, but I'm just saying.
I only asked you today, why is my car not here?
I get it. But there's replacing adhesive strips for sensor on left and right charge port door, checking parking lot and lock and replace drive unit if necessary, check rear axle drive and replace if necessary. That doesn't sound good. And checking sliding roof and replacing control unit for sliding roof if necessary. None of our car doesn't get affected by those campaigns. So look, good news is that our car is supposed to be leaving the port on November 6th.
I wonder how long does it take when it leaves the port to get up to Fort Collins?
Let's say it takes a week, 10 days. Okay. So
and then we get a call, or they have to do
okay, so
something
then the car gets to the dealership, and the dealership has to whatever. Now my understanding is that these things are not going to have to be performed by the dealership because these are going to be done by the port. But once the dealership gets the car, then they gotta unpack all the blocking, whatever the heck they do, right? Prep it. There you go. They got to prep the car, and so they're going to prep the car, and then you can go ahead and buy it, and we can take delivery. So in the meantime, if this car continues to get delayed and delayed again, you got to wonder, do you really want to get a freshy one, like a 2025?
When do I order the 2025?
The only problem with that is I think there's such high demand for this car that you're going to get out of line. It's probably going to be 4 or 5 months, maybe. And let's hope that Porsche can work through all these. It seems like they've got everything going. They've got a lot of different issues on their hands, though. They've, specifically in our case, they've got this brand new Freeport, delivery center. Just to get a port up and running with the right personnel. I think they hired 110 people to work there. I mean, that's going to take time to get the logistics and kinks worked out. And it sounds like they're gonna get this right. And I do, I will say this though, after driving the car, it's absolutely is worth the wait.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, if they come back and say, hey, Dave, sorry, bad news, but now the car is going to be delivered in, it's going to be mid to late December, or it's going to be potentially January. I think the only good news about these delays is that interest rates are probably going to be tanking or coming down between now and, let's say, 2 or 3 months from now. So if whether we lease it or buy it, or the cost of money is going to be a little bit lower. I always try and find the silver lining in everything, but oh man, it's so frustrating knowing that this car is sitting there in the port. It's already made. It's waiting for you.
I know. Well, I think I feel less frustration and just more anticipation. I'm just anxiously awaiting. Remember your father used to have on his cell phone, you'd call his cell phone and he couldn't answer. You'd say, I'm anxiously awaiting your call. I feel like I'm anxiously awaiting the car to come. So I'm not at the frustrated point really. Was just very curious why I don't have it yet. And the other part for me is going to be logistics. Like if we get that call from Colorado, I know Kyle could pick it up.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would like to go there and pick it up, and I have very, very few weekends.
And that's a little bit of our own specific,
But I mean, I was sort of good September, October, but November, December is very busy for me.
Yeah,
so
you got concert season and all that.
Right. Crazy. So,
I get it.
We'll just take one weekend at a time. But I mean, you explained a lot, way more than I wanted to.
That's why when you asked me to explain, I was like, you really want me to tell you what's going on? I mean, I try to do it. Listen, I want to thank everyone at Porsche that has been keeping me in the loop, whether it's the dealer or anyone at corporate, it's like I said before, it's a frustrating thing. Launching a beautiful brand new car like this I would imagine this is also impacting potentially Audi with their models as well. Bailey, are you excited about getting this car?
No, Daddy, I want to sleep and you keep talking.
Yeah, I know. Well, everyone, thanks for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of information. Please feel free to comment below in the section if you're waiting for a Macan EV and you've got additional information that I haven't gotten my hands on. Please share that. And
in the meantime, my fingers are crossed. I'm going to get that call.
It's close.
In a week. I'm just going to hope that happens. And I hope if you're waiting for yours, you get yours pretty soon as well.
Yeah, I do too. All right, everyone, take care now. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.